Welcome to episode number 38 of the Sandbox. Today we're going to talk about Elvedin Greenlight. It's a game we've been talking about a little bit. Pathfinder Alpha, SOE, weird shit's going on over there. Pantheon Online Kickstarter, and a few more things. This is also going to attempt to be our first video podcast, although we'll see how things go. We're also going to be talking about what we've been playing. But first, I'd like to bring back our former co-host, Quint. Hey, what's up, Quint?
What's up, guys? I'm back.
Welcome back, Quint.
Also, you here, we also have Nate Rao with us.
What's going on, everyone?
Great. So let's get started and talk about what we've been playing. You want to start off, Nate?
Yeah, sure. Let me kick things off. I beat a single-player game, which never freaking happens. So I beat Deus Ex Human Revolution. Pretty sweet game. It's a stealth, action-based kind of game, and worked all the way through it. Took me about 24 hours, and got through it Friday. So
cool.
Nice. Now it's sort of a futuristic based, right? Cyberpunky, or I don't really know much about it. I know it's Square, right? Or Square Enix.
Square Enix. They're Canadian Montreal team.
Okay.
So not the Japanese guys. It's the cyberpunk, futuristic. People got like machines on their bodies and stuff.
All right.
I played the original Deus Ex game, and it's one of my all-time favorite PC games. So I was really excited for Human Revolution. Had it on the Xbox, and then I rebought it. I rebought the director's cut on the PC and finally worked through it. It's not quite the same greatness of the old game, but I think this game is really good. It's kind of similar to some other games you play nowadays. The stealth, but you can not do stealth, do some action. And I actually chose to play through it, not killing anyone, and I got my achievement. Didn't kill a single soul. Did all trank darts, trank guns.
Patient man.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing about video games is you're supposed to kill people. It's the only place you can kill people.
I took down a lot of people. Choked them to death. Choked them till they passed out unconscious. Yeah.
All right. Kind of like the old A-Team movies or TV show where the car would explode, but then the guy would just walk away, like kind of stumble away. So you say you don't finish a lot of single player games. I don't either. I've gotten to in-level a few MMOs, but I always kind of lose interest. So that's an achievement, right?
Yeah, if I've got a New Year's resolution, it's to beat more games to completion. So after Deus Ex, I'm going to move into Batman Arkham Asylum, the first game.
The first one.
Nice. I've beaten that one. That was actually, for me, that was like your Deus Ex. Like, that was the first game I beat after going years and years and years of never beating a game. I got sucked into that thing.
So you guys beat Portal, right? And Portal 2? Or those don't really count?
No, I beat those. Yeah, they're good.
I beat the first Portal, never the second.
Portal 2 is good. Beat 2.
Yeah. My video game resolution is to not play single player games at all.
You're doing good so far.
It's not about not playing them. It's about not buying them, because I buy them and never play them. Although I might break that with Dark Souls 2, potentially. I'll have to see the reviews on that.
Yeah, did you play the first Dark Souls?
I didn't play Demon Souls because they didn't release it on the PC, but I played Dark Souls. Mm-hmm. And I just tried playing that again the other day. It's kind of like you have to play that with a controller. It didn't really work out well for the mouse and keyboard. But Windows Live is going away, right?
Right.
So it's kind of a tricky thing because, I don't know, I don't really want to start playing it because you have to log into Windows Live still. So I'm probably going to wait for Dark Souls 2. But the reason why I wanted to do it is because I hook my Alienware laptop up to the front room TV and get on my exercise bike, try to lose some weight, and I'm looking for a good game to play with a controller. And I can't really find an MMO I like and also works well with the controller. But anyway, we'll get back to that. What else have you been playing, Nate?
So I've also been playing another single-player game on my iPad, Knights of the Old Republic, which is awesome on the iPad. Whatever they did, it had a new patch in December, upped the graphics, fixed some of the UI stuff. It works really well. You can play the whole thing with one finger, move
Nice.
around, do all your action. Um, it plays okay on the computer, but it plays a lot better, I think, on the iPad. It's because on the computer, it's still an old ass game. So having on the iPad and off of your nice $high computer seems to fit it better. And I've started that game, I don't know, 20 times, and I finally got my lightsaber. So it's like what the first planet. After you beat the first planet, then you get your lightsaber.
Oh, is that really okay? I always get to. I think I've also started it like so many times where you go to the first planet and then you end up going underground to where
Yep.
like they have those camps with the rat
And
goals.
there's
I
that
never
girl,
get past that part. I
and then
just
there's
So
that
I got
girl
past
with the
that and I got my
Wookiee.
lightsaber.
The
nice.
girl with
So
the Wookiee that you have to like kind of enlist to help you.
Yeah, I've got her.
yep,
That's about
I
how
got
far I
her.
always get. I should try it again because I do have it on the iPad. Have you been playing any MMOs?
Yes. So this moves into. I was kind of on a Star Wars kick, so I got my Empire Strikes Back poster behind me.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of started talking about the Star Wars Galaxy emulator.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess they've come a long way with it because we looked into it probably about a year ago, and a lot was missing. When I was in college, I didn't play any MMOs. I was too broke to justify a $15 sub. So I did a lot of like free text games and stuff. Um, so I missed Star Wars Galaxies completely. When I graduated college, I jumped into Lord of the Rings Online, and then they canceled it, what, 2, 3 years ago, right before the Old Republic came out.
Yeah.
So this is my first chance to get in there, learn the game, see what it's like. This emulator is trying to do pre-CU, um, which I guess is their new game experience patch they did on the
Yeah.
live servers.
It's pre-NGE, so it's old
Right.
school Ultima Online style, skill based, everything awesomeness.
Right. I think the NG also had a big combat revamp, so none of that's in the game. This is like old school Star Wars Galaxies. I tell you what,
Mm-hmm.
this sucker is a sandbox.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I I didn't know that it was. I thought it was a theme park Star Wars game, and then I'm completely floored. You can like put down harvesters, attach them to a factory. The factory can put in schematic and spit out like crafting recipes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can put that shit down anywhere. Uh, all kinds of resources, complex character building. You use your fencing weapon or your blaster. You get better at the blaster. You know.
Right.
Yeah, you know the other cool thing about the blaster stuff in that game is your accuracy increases depending on which stance you're in. So you can actually go prone and it increases your skill in that, or you drop to a knee and fire and it increases, makes it a little bit easier. It's harder to shoot if you're standing or running around. So
Yeah,
it's
I
kind of a
think
weird
when they
thing.
get up to you, like if a melee guy gets close to you while you're prone, he's gonna do like all of
Oh
his damage.
yeah.
So I'll go prone with my rifle, shoot him for a while. Then they get close, I'll do a
Mhm.
kneeling, and I won't stand up completely, but I won't lay down my ass anymore either. So
Yeah.
So
it's
how do you think that how does the game hold up? Being 15, I don't know, 10 years old or whatever it is.
well, first of all, there's 2,000 people playing this game at all times. They do allow multiple connections, so you might cut that in half. Let's say 1,000 people.
Well, and that's surprising too, in that, the original servers were probably what, like 2,000, 2,500 people at
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
a
most,
lot of
typical
servers,
it's,
but
it's a typical WoW server structure. They can
Yeah.
support like 3K people, and then you have to have another server.
Yeah, that's
So
that's really good for an emulator. I mean, even the Ultima
Yeah.
Online, the popular emulators at any given time only have about 800-900 people. So
health wise or population wise, it's good. Game wise, this is everything I look for in a MMO. What I don't like or what's off putting about it is when you leave the city, it's a giant world to explore, and that's kind of its downside because
There's a
then
lot of
there's
empty
no one
world.
around you.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of wildlife. There's not a lot of like creatures to run into because those are in missions. I mean, you run into some, but the second you leave the city, the game feels kind of barren. Um, but at the same time, players can throw up whole player-created cities on
Yeah.
that space. So
Well,
I
I
guess
mean, but think about this too. I mean, if you just walked off into the Sahara, or not the Sahara, but like even in California, the Mojave Desert, like you got out, you walked out of Barstow, walked into the Mojave Desert, you ain't gonna see anything. It's just barren out
See a
there.
lot of
Yeah.
a lot of crackheads, maybe.
Baby, huh?
But
so. My favorite thing with this game is it's got a real high player interaction. So when I get hurt, if I die, some of my action bars and stamina bars will get black. So to heal those, I've got to go find medics or doctors. Heal that part up. Then I have to go find an entertainer in the cantina and watch them dance or watch musicians play, which is all players.
Yeah.
So there's
well,
someone's playing
they're
that
all
doctor, someone's playing
players
the
that are being
dancer.
macroed, is what most of them are.
Well, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
AFK players in there.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of people in there talking.
Oh, yeah. One thing I noticed, it has a huge RP community. Just walking through there, everyone's just kind of like gathered in there, in the cantinas and talking and role playing, which,
Yeah. Well, I ran into some role-playing stormtroopers. I
nice.
ran into some role-playing dancer. I ran into one girl like role-playing with a Wookiee. It's like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. The theme is great for role-playing, so I'm sure if people like to do that, it's there for them.
Nate's gonna meet his next Mrs. Nate on the Star Wars Galaxy. Yeah, she was a dancer in a can. She was an entertainer in a cantina.
Yeah,
How we met.
I'm really liking the
was
game.
low.
I played it a lot last weekend, and I played it a ton this weekend. So I played all today, all yesterday.
So it's gonna be a stick with it game.
I think so, at least for a while.
Yeah.
I'm getting back into Final Fantasy 14, and I've stayed sub to the game this whole time, but I really wasn't playing it a lot. And the last 2 weeks after that newest patch, I'm really liking it. I think the reason why is they've got the daily roulette thing, so you can go and join and do a dungeon, and then you get tons of experience. So you can level up doing dungeons. And then I don't know when they changed it, but now you can do the dailies. What do they call it? The leave quest. You can do those in a group too.
Mm-hmm.
Before you can only do them solo. So I've been doing that with some people I play with. So back into 14, I'll probably stick with it for a while too.
Cool, man.
Is that all you've been playing?
That's it.
All right. What about you, Quint?
Oh, man.
Hey,
all right.
By the way, it's nice to have you back on the show.
Thanks. Nice to be back.
Hear Quint's. Always like you. Always, if you go back to the last 2 years of podcasting, every other month you're either playing Oblivion or Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Go ahead though.
So yeah, well, basically, not a whole lot's changed, man. I have been on a tear through some Mass Effect though. Like, I've been on the first Mass Effect game for years. It took me forever to finally get through that first game. I just played it, and I always would lose interest, and I play it. And so finally, like 2 weeks ago, I was like, all right, I'm going to do this shit. I'm going to get through it, bust it out, be done with it, and move on. Because I liked playing Mass Effect 3 when it came out. I got it on the PS3. And I couldn't really get into it, though. I mean, it felt great. It played really nicely. It looked good. I didn't have that emotional attachment to the story. So I figured I needed to go back and build up to that. So I ended up beating Mass Effect 1 finally. Good game. Awesome ending. Great story.
That's my favorite of the three is 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I moved on to Mass Effect 2, and I've been playing through Mass Effect 2 like crazy. One thing I noticed is that from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2, it loses a ton of its RPG elements. Like, they're gone. It's almost like the jump from Dragon Age 1 to Dragon Age 2, only no one gave a shit with Mass Effect. Like, everyone raised hell in Dragon Age, but no one really, there was no problems with Mass Effect. And maybe because a lot of
Mass Effect was originally a console game first, and and Dragon Age wasn't. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Was Dragon Age released on the console, or did it come out later?
It was, but it was definitely more PC oriented because it was very strategic.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Dragon Age Origins on both PC and the consoles, and I enjoy playing both, but the PC is way more strategic. But I almost think that maybe it's because more people attributed Mass Effect to being like a shooter, to where they didn't mind losing out on some of those RPG elements that were in the first one. Just gear and inventory and all that stuff that was in the first Mass Effect is gone in the second one. It's essentially turned into menus that you can access through certain areas of your ship to change stuff in and out. It's quite a bit different.
They
But
add back in the RPG slightly in 3.
okay, well
3 is
maybe
the
it
middle
was.
ground.
But I
Yeah,
heard
maybe it
3
was a
wasn't
little bit of
very
an issue.
good. Is that
2's over here, 1's over here, and 3 is in the middle.
Okay.
so do I have to? Because I played I own Mass Effect 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I played Mass Effect 1, and for some reason, as soon as I got that vehicle, the game just went south on me. I didn't like
Really?
that. Yeah.
Well,
You can almost skip all of the vehicle stuff. Most
so,
of it.
Yeah,
So
I
then I
mean-
played Mass Effect 2, and it seemed fun. But do I need to play 1 and 2, and then which is the better of the 3?
Well, okay. RPG wise, Mass Effect 1 is awesome. Gameplay wise, Mass Effect 2 is incredible. Just it controls so smoothly. Everything is just very fast and just boom, boom, boom. They're awesome for different reasons, which is how I felt about Dragon Age series. Same thing. I like both Dragon Age 1 and 2. They just are different, but they're both, in my mind, very good games. So I'm looking forward to getting through Mass Effect 2. I think I'm probably 75% of the way through, so I can get to Mass Effect 3, which, I hope is good.
It's okay. 1's the best.
Mhm.
Best RPG, best story by far.
Okay.
2 is kind of like it's middle of both. I think it's probably the worst game of the series.
Yeah, I feel like in 2, I'm just going around recruiting people. I'm just going to do this,
Yep.
recruit this guy, recruit this guy, recruit this guy. And I feel like once I'm done with that, I'm just going to do the big ending, and then, you know what I mean? That's almost what it feels like it's leading up to.
And 3 is probably the best gameplay wise and maybe
Mhm.
the worst story wise.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, we'll see. I'm still looking forward to it. Aside from that, I've been playing. I started getting into Morrowind a little bit. I've been looking at this mod for Oblivion called Oblivion, which is basically they rebuilt Morrowind inside of Oblivion. It looked super interesting, looked awesome. But one thing that I noticed when watching the videos of it is like my Morrowind game kind of looks better than that. Like not necessarily the characters, but the terrain and the water. Because remember, Nate, back in the day, we did the Morrowind upgraded 2.0 version or whatever it was called. The overhaul.
Overhaul 3.0.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we did that, and so but I never got into it. So I decided, okay, I'm going to sit down and start playing Morrowind. I feel like I owe it at least a little bit of game time to play. So I've been playing through that. It's very different. It's really hard to get into. I almost want to wait again until it comes out. I mean, that same team that did Oblivion is doing Skywind, which they're basically recreating Morrowind inside the Skyrim game engine. So I kind of want to almost wait for that because it just feels so awkward to play Morrowind, man. It's just I'm enjoying it, but I'm having to force myself to play through that stuff.
What you should do is, when you get your new computer, do that overhaul 3.0 again, crank the settings way up, see what it does, and then play through it as a thief. I think that makes.
That's what I'm doing right now. The settings are up. My computer runs it. Side tangent here. I'm running on like an 8-year-old rig. And coming Monday, I'm going to have, probably by the time anyone hears this, I'm going to have a monster of a computer. I've got these parts coming. It's going to be badass. I can't wait. But that's, side note. But no, I'm playing as a thief. I randomly walked into the Thieves Guild, found it, joined up, and just been doing little thief missions and stuff. It's hard. Super hard to lockpick people, man. Really hard. Or not lockpick, but pickpocket. But
yeah,
it's
what
cool.
makes Morrowind is the game setting, the way the whole world looks, the big giant mushrooms, the colors.
It's way different. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So and then aside from that, I started playing Morrowind, and then I was like, man, I kind of miss Oblivion. So I was like, all right, let's get back in Oblivion. Did that. I downloaded. I've got a bunch of cool mods running on Oblivion, make it look really, really good. Character face models and everything. Character face models look great now. No longer weird blobby looking people. So I was playing that. I accidentally got turned into a vampire and it almost ruined my game. Like it got to the point where I was in the middle of nowhere. I couldn't fast travel because I was taking health damage from the sun. And if I tried to wait till nighttime, by the time it was nighttime, my character died. So I was literally like running around dying, trying to find. I managed to find a cave and duck into that until nighttime, and then commenced to start working on the vampire cure, which I was able to do. But man, that was rough. Really, totally rough. So it's good though, man. I love the Elder Scrolls games. This is every single one of them, just good. So
That's the only one I don't like is Oblivion.
oh, really? That's my favorite.
I'm with you on that. I don't know why.
I get to the Oblivion gates, and I'm like, man.
Well, I don't like the Oblivion
sucks.
gates. Yeah, I don't like the Oblivion gates. But I'm like that with all games. Even Skyrim, in the expansion of Skyrim, they have that the Soul Cairn when you go into that weird world. I hate that. I hate the arcane. I hate the Mage's Tower thing in Dragon Age. Can't stand that. I don't like being in weird alternate dimensions in games. It just bothers me.
So there's a patch for that the Mage one in Dragon Age.
I have it. I
you
use
skip all of that shit.
Yep. Oh my god, I hated that level. So, but aside from all the blame Skyrim and I've been playing just a ton of Elder Scrolls. Probably because I'm so stoked for Elder Scrolls Online to come out. I've been playing some Star Wars Galaxies emulator too, and rolling a Pistolier. Gonna make myself a little Boba Fett, and it's a huge blast of nostalgia, man. It's crazy. I remember that game. I actually had the collector's edition when it first came out. Me and my buddy signed up, and we worked together and just worked our asses off in that game. And we set up a ton of harvesters on Tatooine, and within like a month of that game being out, the both of us were so rich that there was nothing in the game we couldn't afford. We had houses. Like it got to the point where it was almost pointless. We're like, well, what do we do now, dude? Like, like we're more wealthy. Like, why would we even build up a character to go fight to gain money? We just sold everything from our harvesters, and we're totally rich. So it got boring. And then by the time I ended up getting back to it, originally it was after the NGE, which was a completely different game. But I'm enjoying getting back in now and kind of re-experiencing that, playing the same style of character I had back then and all that. So it's cool.
Cool. I remember when Star Wars Galaxies first launched, like it would take you like a half hour to walk across a town. So it was such a bad launch. And I always wonder if that was kind of like, if that really did hinder the success of that game.
Well, of course, I mean,
I stopped playing it. I didn't really get into it. And then I found something else. I forget what was coming out back then. Like, Dark
EverQuest 2. WoW.
Yeah, WoW. Took a lot of
WoW
people.
was a ways off from Star Wars Galaxies. So anyway,
It's not really. It was 03, I think, right?
WoW was 04.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what I've been playing is, let's just mention Mortal real quick. I'm not done with Mortal. I'm just trying to find a book. I find this one book, I'm going to get back in it. But,
yeah. No, I'm not done with Mortal either, man. I'm waiting for my new computer to come out, and then hopefully I can get it to run better. It runs like crap right now for me, but we'll see.
So again, I was trying to find a game to play with a controller sitting on my exercise bike in the front room. And just so I subbed to Final Fantasy 14, and I played it for 5 minutes and decided I'm not playing that game.
Not for you.
It's not for me. And you know what? I almost want to change my password and change my email to something I don't know, and then just making sure I never can try to resub to that again. I don't know why. Because you guys
change it, write it down, and throw it away.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so I'm probably gonna give that account to Nate to use or somebody. Anyway, but then I read up on Diablo 3. Like Quint and I played Diablo 3 for a minute this week.
Oh yeah, that was cool too.
Yeah, we jumped into it's kind of like this little arena that we just fought each other over and over.
Yeah, it was called the Proving Grounds or Training Grounds or something like that.
It was cool.
So they've got a PvP out now, huh?
Yeah. We're just in there killing each other over and over again, and it was awesome. I was wrecking on Coolit for a minute until he decided to change up his his skills, and then he was just wasting
Then I
me.
got like the machine gun because I'm an archer. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I said, okay, well, you know that Diablo 3 came out on the PlayStation and Xbox. So I figured there must be controller
Mhm.
support. But they won't allow that controller support on the PC version because they rebuilt the game. It's got it plays different basically.
It
It's more
totally does. I actually
dodgy.
have it on the PS3,
Oh, you do?
and it's awesome on the PS3.
Do you think it's better?
Maybe I
Yeah.
like it, dude. You know what it reminds me of? Because you can do 4 player on the same screen. The camera's pulled way back compared to on the
PC.
on the computer, and it reminds me of playing Gauntlet back
Yeah.
in the day.
Oh, nice.
Warrior
It's
is
rad.
about to die.
The
That
old
was my favorite
N64
game.
Gauntlet game.
If I
It's
could
totally
ever get
sweet.
like a tabletop cabinet of Gauntlet, that would be in my front room for sure.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so I played that and I kind of went through and I played a little bit of DCUO,
Mm.
and that plays well with the controller, but I don't know, the game's just not for me.
Yeah.
I don't know, I might give it another try sometime. So then I ended up just playing Terra and kind of figuring out a way where I can kind of camp stuff. I'm still playing Terra like regularly for some
Mhm.
reason. I'm just gotten into it, and the PvP is great, and the combat in that game is really good. People who say they don't like that game, it's because they're trying to play it like a regular MMO. I don't even do the quests. I'll do like a few of the quests, but I'm mostly just going out and farming stuff and fighting people and doing dungeons to get the gear. So
Yeah, maybe once I get my new computer stuff, I'll throw that in there and try and level up a guy or something, because it's pretty graphically intense. I mean, it looks like a good game. It looks good. I mean, the graphically, anyways.
you
Uh,
just can't do because it's like
yeah,
one
don't get
quest
sucked into
hub
quests. That's what
to
killed it for me
another
last
quest
time,
hub
man.
to another
Tried to play
quest
it like
hub.
World of Warcraft, and it was
Yeah.
just, oh gosh,
But
so
if you-
They're
boring.
really bad. Hey,
Yeah.
cool. You should try. I mean, I know you already own it. Play it with a controller and play Defiance.
You know what?
Oh, that's cool.
I actually downloaded that on that computer, and that was going to be my next try.
Defiance is a cool game.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
It's
I still
not
haven't
the
watched
best
the
game ever,
show.
but for what you're trying to do on the exercise bike, it might work out
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So I played Terra quite a bit. I have my level 60 character, and now my archer's level 52, and it's climbing the ladder, and I'm farming all kinds of gear. But we don't really want to talk about that. It's not really sandbox oriented, even though I'm kind of playing it like a sandbox because I'm not really doing the quests. I'm doing the PvP battlegrounds and I'm doing the dungeons, and that's pretty much it, except for rolling around just farming mobs while waiting for the battlegrounds or the dungeon finder type thing to pop. So I played a little bit of Rust, and Rust is going to be an awesome game once we all decide to play it. Maybe we'll get our own server and jump in it together. And there's no reason not to wait because there's a good, because it's still alpha. It's not finished being built, but there's a lot going on. I think there's a lot of positive things going on in that game.
Yeah, I wonder if it's further along than the Daisy Alpha. I'm interested in both, but I
But
don't,
see,
really,
I
I don't
kinda-
really want to buy both.
One of the reasons why I don't really want to play Rust that much now, it's kind of like with DayZ. We played DayZ Arma 2 mod, right? Did you guys play that?
No, I
Yep.
never got into it.
So it's kind of like I played that and it was a lot of fun. But then it was kind of like, okay, well, I've done that. Even though it's going to be better, it's still kind of like, well, I've done that. And I don't know. I like the more world building that like Rust or 7 Days to Die has. So I played Rust. Played a little bit of Star Wars emulator. It's fun. I just don't know if I'm going to stick with it or not. It's hard to say. I've been playing Age of Conan, and on the hardcore server, that game's a lot of fun. That
Oh,
game
yeah.
has such a good. I can see Quint in the background of your thing. You've got the Age of. I think you have a Conan book back there, right?
Yeah, right here. It's the Complete Chronicles of Conan. It's all of the books ever written by what's his name?
Robert Jordan. Yep.
Rob Howard or something like that. Whatever his name
Oh,
is.
okay, Howard. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to realize it's like, I mean, is it just me or is the Conan world a little less nerdy than most of the shit we play?
It's a lot less nerdy, dude. It's completely badassery.
Yeah. So
There.
there we go.
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
So I think that
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to, besides playing Terra and doing my dailies and getting my characters, just dialed in for PvP there, I think I'm going to give Age of Conan a go. Give it a run on the hardcore server. There's a server that you can kill everyone. You can only make one character on the server. You have a chance of dropping some stuff when you get killed that the other guy can pick up. The
Yeah.
other people you also generate loot as if you were a mob that the other people can pick up that wasn't necessarily already on your body.
Do player kills provide XP? Like you can level up just through player killing or what?
I don't know. I was playing today and I'm level 23
Mm-hmm.
and I was getting camped by two level 50s. So they
Oh.
were just like following me
Mm-hmm.
like for an indiscriminate amount of time and then just one-shotting me. And it's like that doesn't piss me off though. You know what I mean? It's like it almost makes the game more fun for me because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, so then I waited till they were picking on some other noob and I just sprinted past them and went way down far away. And I was able to farm there for, I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes before they figured out where I was and came and killed me again. So I don't know. It's not for everybody, but I'm sure like if we put together enough people, I've only been playing for like 2 days. So,
So how long would it take to get to cap in that game?
I don't
I will-
know. I mean,
Yeah, I wonder
It's like
how
at
bad the
level
grind
what,
is.
at level 80 or 85 or something like
Right.
that. It's up there.
I have a level 85 on a regular server. Or
So do
level
I. They
80,
gave them
yeah.
away.
Well, they also do a thing where every 4 days every 4 days that you're sub to the game, you get a level. That you
I don't
can
think they do
spend.
that on the
That's-
hardcore server
They
though.
don't on the
it's
hardcore.
Not on your server.
Right, not on mine, but in other servers.
Right.
I don't know. It's fun. I'm gonna play it until I stop.
Yeah, the combat's fun, man.
Yeah. So I think there's a couple other things I played here and there, but I don't think anything really worth talking about. I played a few betas, not to mention their names, but have you guys seen what's going on with Earthrise?
I know that they're like rebuilding and all that kind of stuff.
They had one Facebook post saying, "Hey, we're still here."
Did you see they replied to me. I responded.
Really?
And I said, well, what are you working on? It's like, and I almost
my
wanted
God.
to say, I
That's
played
awesome.
it. What are you working on? But,
Yeah.
I don't really think that I'm allowed to say anything like that. So
Mhm.
there was a couple other betas I played too. But let's not even talk about it. I mean, there's pretty much my attitude right now as it stands is all the new games coming out I'm going to play at this point.
Cool.
And sometimes beta will ruin it for me because, been there, done that, seen it type thing.
Mhm.
That's why I'm staying away. No betas. I'll just buy them and play them when they come out.
Right. And, if it doesn't last, I mean, if you really think about it, if it takes 2 nights out of my rotation, I mean, if I'm not going out for 2 nights, I'm going to save more money by buying a $60 game, I think, just in pure alcohol purchases. But anyway, that's about all I've been playing.
All right. Well, let's jump into the news then, huh?
All right. So, Elveden makes a run for Steam Greenlight. I think it'd be great for Elveden to get Greenlight. I think that Elveden, I really like the game, but I'll tell you a few things that it's really missing. One of the things it's really missing is housing. I think that game lends itself to having housing very well. You didn't play it much, Quint, did you?
No, I got out of the tutorial a little bit and then I ran out of time to play that day and just kind of never got back into it.
Nate?
No, I agree. I played it a bunch. I've put it down because it doesn't fit with like my nightly gaming routine. It almost has to be like something on the computer where you're watching TV or an hour here at work or something. And I'm too busy at work and I'm not really playing like that at the TV. So housing would be great because the world is so alive. And if you had a house to like put yourself in that world, it'd be awesome.
Boy, that would be a great game for the iPad, I think, though, too. That would.
But do you
Agreed.
think? Okay,
Yeah.
here's a question though. With a game like Albion Online coming out, do you think a game like Eldiven really has a chance?
It does, because I'll tell you why. Because there's a lot of people. Okay, let's just take RuneScape as an example. Okay, RuneScape is like Elveden, I think, is a better version of RuneScape, but it doesn't have as much content because it hasn't been out for 30 years or however long that game's been out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Albion Online, a lot of those type of people are not going to play that game because there's no. I mean, it's definitely based around PvP.
We played that beta a whole hell of a lot, and it's hardcore. It's Darkfall in tablet kitty looking format.
It's like
Awesome.
Darkfall, Shadowbane, Ultima Online, like
very Shadowbane-ish, I
weird.
guess.
Not that it's as good or as worse than any of those games, but it's got little elements of all those. I think that if it had more Ultima influence, like more a more fleshed out magic system and taming and stuff, I think, but it's new. And, the way games launch now, they don't finish them. They put them out there. And then if people pay for them, then they start building on them. And, I think it has a lot. I think that greenlighting on Steam would do a lot for it, despite the horrible, horrible Steam forums.
Yeah. That game, too, because it's so Care Bearish, theme parkish, it would do well on Steam with people that played it. So
yeah. Now, if they, like I said though, if they had like housing or like you could have like a plot of land where you could, because there's farming in the game, there's all kinds of stuff, and you kind of added all those sandbox elements to it, I would play it a lot because, like I said, the artwork's really good, and the world really seems alive because there's a lot of like wildlife and people going about their business in the game, NPCs. And okay, so also Pathfinder Online. Who knows about Pathfinder? I don't know anything about it.
yeah, see, so me and Quint were talking about this earlier. It's I mean, they have a blog. It's we'll put in the show notes, and the blog is incredibly dense.
Yeah, I mean, as far as developer transparency goes, I mean, I don't think it's any better than these guys.
It's almost
put
too
out
much.
everything. Yeah, it's hard to sift through it all.
We're not
But if
playing
it was your game, if
right?
it was the
So
thing
we
you were
can't
looking forward to the most, then that would be a positive thing. But as a
Yeah, of
casual
course.
observer, it's kind of hard to dig that deep.
Mhm.
Yeah, and because you're not playing it, when they start going into systems as deep as they do, you can't gauge what they're really talking about. But okay, so what I've gleaned from it though, it's going to be a really complex sandbox with some interesting faction type systems, some great PvP. I think it's something we're all going to like. And this newest blog, the one snippet from it is alpha starts second quarter of 14.
Oh, there you
So
go.
I think launch is end of 14.
Wow. So what kind of game is it? I mean, is it like a third-person perspective, or is it?
It's not isometrical top down as far as I know, right? Everything
I think it is.
understand. Is it?
It may be 3D, but I think it's definitely ISO.
I think
Oh, well,
it
that's
goes
cool. I didn't
without
know
saying that we really don't know much about this game.
that. Yeah.
Because I think I mean, I heard it's supposed to be this sandbox, but I don't know. I don't know much about it.
Yeah, they had some of their recent blogs are really good. They go into the PvP a lot, which is why I'm thinking this is the closer it gets to release, the more it's going to get on our radar. So,
All right. So what's up with SOE? What's going on? Okay, so they just announced, right? They just announced. Everyone's like, great. You can get whatever they call their station pass now. Used to be
Yeah, the
called
all
station-
access.
All
So-
access is only going to be $15.
$15. And you know what? When I saw that, I was like, uh-oh,
I'm buying
something's going to be
I'm
changing.
going to buy this. I got to get this $15
You say,
thing.
okay,
I'm
well, I
thinking
can play.
Vanguard,
No way.
all this
I
stuff.
knew something was going to change. You know why? Because here's what happened. It used to be, I think the station pass used to be $30 a month. I think it
Then
was
it was-
30,
It was
maybe it was
24
25.
for a while.
Yeah.
No,
$24.99.
it was 30, and they dropped it down to 25 about a
Yeah,
year ago.
and when they dropped it down, that's when Star Wars Galaxies went away. Right after that, and so this time when I saw them dropping it down at 15 from 20, I knew something was getting cut. I did not expect that they were actually going to be cutting as much as they
Half
are.
their library,
So-
so one
All
thing.
right,
I
so
didn't, wait, let me throw one thing. Dragon Prophet made the cut.
it made the cut.
I like that game. I just don't play it. I mean, there's some coolness to that game, but
Mhm.
nobody. I'm the only other person on this planet besides the guy who made it who likes that game. I think, but
Yeah, so basically, they made the change, and now they had just announced. I guess Smedley did an Ask Me Anything on Reddit, and it came out that they are closing Clone Wars Adventures, Free Realms, Wizardry, And what makes me really sad is Vanguard is going away
Yeah, that
after all this
sucks.
time and effort, and them saying, we're going to stand behind our IP and we're actually going to put some development into this game. They decided that just wasn't worth it, and it's time to close the doors.
Vanguard is the best game that no one plays.
I know.
I mean, in that category, the best game that no one plays is Vanguard.
It just never had, I don't know, man. The development just riddled with bugs, and if it was released proper with a good stable client and even half the bugs that it had, it could have succeeded very well.
Right. If they would, I would have still be playing it if they would have kept that PvP server going.
Yeah, and they kept saying if the free to play kicks off and has success, they would put the PvP server out. And I guess it never got the success they needed.
Yeah.
I'm more bummed about Clone Wars Adventures. Not that I ever played it, but man, my kids played the heck out of that game. I think that game alone, I've spent $100. A lifetime
man.
sub. I bought a lifetime sub for $50 for both kids, and then Daddy, I want this thing on my clone. All right, here you go. Here's $5. Dad, I want this pet. Dad, I want to be a Jedi. All right, here's your $3.
So you know what
Okay,
their next game will be is that Lego game coming out from Funcom. Have you heard of that game?
No.
Well, the last Lego game tanked big time. So
There's a new
I don't
Lego
know.
miniatures or something. I forget what it's called, but I don't know. I have a whole bunch of
The last Lego game was
Funcom
cool
cash.
too. My kids liked that one, and it did
Oh, did
nothing.
you play it?
We played a little bit, yeah.
Oh.
You could build all kinds of stuff in it. And
So, Nate, I have to ask then, do you feel like it was worth it? All that money spent and all that stuff. Now that it's going to be gone, you've dropped hundies into this game.
probably,
gone, dude.
I'm gonna say, I had $100 in station cash
Mhm.
saved up for Planet Side 2. When I realized I hated Planet Side 2, I let my kids spend all that station cash.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess if it makes them happy for
But
the
you
time,
probably
I guess.
bought that
you know.
station cash at 3-for-1 or something like that, right?
All right, so maybe it was like $50, $60
Yeah.
converted to $100 in
Sucks,
station
yo.
cash. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that Minecraft's a better game for their educational value anyway, right?
Well, it is, but I mean, kids are like us. They don't want to play one game all the time, and they really liked Clone Wars Adventures. It was an IP they liked. They had fun games on it they liked, and there was some carefully controlled social interaction.
Right.
That. So
Do your sons ever see you playing Final Fantasy 14 and call you a sissy?
no,
Um,
no, they don't.
So
They got a
okay,
kick out of watching me play
so-
Mortal Online.
so-
I was like, oh, let me turn off that nudity.
So they're closing 4 games, right? But then
Or-
Smedley said, "What was it on Twitter?" He said it, or on one of the IRCs or something.
It was on AMA. So yeah, Vanguard, Clone Wars, Free Realms, Wizardry. Wizardry, by the way, just launched last year, I think. That game, I guess it was really bad.
Yeah,
It's
I played
awful.
it. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So bad.
So, but out of this AMA, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Apparently, there is a yet to be announced game in development at SOE that is supposed to be a welcome home game for the Lost Star Wars Galaxies players. And I have here Smedley's quotes. What he says is, let's see. Star Wars Galaxy players, our next game, not announced, is dedicated to you. Once we launch it, you can come home now. And he also said a post that if you look, the information about this game is out there. You just have to find it. So that's kind of cryptic, right?
But wait, if it's not announced,
Right.
but the information's out there, does it mean that it's been? Is that something where we have to go search for website names that they've reserved? Or
I don't know. See, that's what I'm thinking. When people
patents?
saw that, I would imagine everyone's going to jump on, or at least the people who like to do that,
It's
going to
kinda-
get on and try and
you know what
figure
it's
out this
kinda like?
puzzle.
It's kind of like Ready Player One. Remember that, Nate? I
Yeah.
know you read it. You're reading.
Maybe a little. Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Easter eggs.
Little
I
Easter
think it's
egg.
just going to be theme-wise. It's going to be a sci-fi game.
Some people
you know.
think that they're going to take over repopulation, and
That I was almost
host
thinking
that.
that. They say it's a brand new IP.
well, that's a brand new
Oh,
IP.
dude,
It
that
is-
could be it.
Everyone is making a lot of comparisons to Repopulation and Star Wars Galaxies. It would not surprise me if they ended up
Oh,
backing
they published it, right?
Repopulation.
But
Yeah, and just
but
published
would
it and
that
then gave it the SOE powerhouse behind it.
would that fall under an unannounced game though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes,
Well,
not
it
it
would
hasn't
fall
been
under.
announced.
It would
unannounced
fall
for
under because
them?
they haven't announced any of that. That would make sense.
Yeah, they haven't announced it
theory.
officially with SOE, but they said that if you look, it's out there. So who knows? I mean, maybe that's it. That'd be cool.
That would be well
So I guess it rolls right into the next one. Repopulation is back to Kickstarter.
enough.
Because they,
You should only
yeah,
be allowed to go to Kickstarter once.
Yeah.
I mean,
and if they have SOE behind them, they don't need Kickstarter. What the heck?
We've interviewed those guys twice now, I think, right? And I mean,
No, we did it once, and I think we were going to do another one, and we could never get the time down to do
no,
it.
I think there's, I don't know, whatever. But I mean, really looking forward to that game. But I don't, don't go back to the well. I mean, would they be doing another Kickstarter see, that's another thing. Would they be doing another Kickstarter if SOE was going to pick them up?
Yeah,
No.
see, that doesn't make sense.
No.
So maybe not, but who knows? All I know is every time I see a developer video or something from Repopulation, every time, man, that game is looking better and better. And I'm kind of starting to get excited for it.
Doesn't it look a
well,
lot
this,
like Earthrise?
this newest bit of information about the PvP servers. Have you read that yet?
No.
Well,
last I heard, they weren't going to have PvP servers when
yeah,
Cool
and when they
talked
were
to
on the when they're on the podcast, they were very wishy-washy about it.
Yeah.
Oh, we might have one if there's
yeah, if
interest,
it's
we might do it.
successful and this and that.
Well, this document they put out was saying it's launching with a PvP rule set.
Yeah.
It is hardcore loot, full loot, maybe partial loot.
You know why they're probably doing this is because they're seeing the mad, ridiculous amount of success that DayZ is having in alpha, hardcore, all this stuff, and throughout the entire Steam holiday sale, DayZ was still number one the whole time in sales.
I thought that Rust. I thought Rust was number one for a bit.
Rust is number one now. DayZ was number one through all
Okay.
that time.
Yeah, through all the sales and everything, man, and they had some good sales.
Yeah. Well,
So,
Yeah, I mean the rule set sounds really cool. It's a perfect fit for us. The only downside is we definitely prefer a game where they're not putting everyone that wants that here, everyone that wants the Care Bear here. A game that makes them all work together and coexist in one game, a la Ultima Online in 2000, is a better experience. But I'll take what we can get. So.
yeah, that was the last we talked to them. I was kind of concerned because they said, well, we're going to put out the PvE server and then later on put the PvP server out. And you know that sometimes when it's coming out later, it never happens,
Well, and that too, and we didn't have details in. So we were worried
I don't think they
that
had
the
details
PvP
then.
server would have you're right. But I was worried the PvP server would have like attached rule set that was quick and easy to do. And this is, the game's drastically changed in this version.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tweaks to it to make it what they have their vision. So it's almost like two different visions and two coexisting games.
But the other problem with now that they're having all this other money is now the game's being pushed back even further, though, right? We're not going to see this game this year.
I don't know. They are saying we are still.
They are? Okay. Well, I hope so.
Yeah,
'Cause
I want to play
yeah,
it.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's
we're
going to be cool.
hurting, we got
It's
Mortal,
gonna
we
be
got
free to play,
Darkfall.
so it won't cost you anything to check it out.
Yeah. Kind of, we don't really talk about it that much, but, Landmark, EverQuest Landmark, I don't know if you guys plan on playing that, but I definitely plan on playing it.
Oh, totally. Sandbox podcast. That is a beautiful looking 3D Minecraft.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things is they say you're going to be able to build structures and save the blueprints and put them on the store and in EverQuest Next to sell those things so people can actually build those structures in EverQuest Next, and you get a little kickback for whatever they pay for it on the thing. It's not a bad deal. It's pretty cool.
One thing I don't know is if in EverQuest Landmark, if they're going to still host a big server, or if we're gonna have like where I'm gonna rent a server and it's gonna have. This
No, I
built
think it's
in.
small. It's small server based. I think Landmark. I think is small.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would
Well,
rather
I
it be
don't
one
want
big server.
to pay someone to beta test the beta test. I
Well, I'm
mean,
not saying
Landmark
I'm
is a
going.
beta test for EverQuest Next, and then I got to pay someone to like,
You,
you know,
you know what though? I have this weird feeling that, and I almost feel bad saying it. I have this weird feeling that EverQuest Next is going to come out after EverQuest Next Landmark, and EverQuest Next is going to kind of fizzle down to some small thing. And I have a feeling EverQuest Next Landmark is going to just blow up and go on and be huge.
interesting theory. I don't know that. I don't know.
It
Well, I'm more
depends.
worried about if they bomb hardcore with Landmark and then Next never happens.
No,
No,
That could
that's not going to
it's
happen.
not
That's
gonna
not going to
happen.
happen.
I think that what could potentially, I think that EverQuest Next is going to be such a bigger thing, you know.
I hope so. I don't get me wrong. I want to see that game succeed horribly bad. Like I've been waiting for this forever. I mean, EverQuest was my, aside from Ultima Online is when I got into online gaming, but EverQuest is what really took it to a whole other level for me. And, I just love everything with, Norath and everything EverQuest is just, I
Yeah.
can't wait for the next
EverQuest 2
iteration. It's
didn't
going to be
really
awesome,
nail it,
man.
though. I
Yeah.
always like Vanguard a little bit more than EverQuest 2, but
I didn't play Ultima. I grew up with EverQuest,
Mhm.
so yeah,
EverQuest 2
I
was
wanna play.
better at first, though. I would say it changed into like such a, I don't know. I liked it better when it started. Anyway,
Well,
so we
speaking
don't need
of, Vanguard and talk a little Brad McQuaid,
to, oh yeah.
we got some Pantheon.
So
I heard-
did you support the Kickstarter or whatever you call it? Did you
I
pay?
did not. But I think
I
you did, right?
I
I
did.
did. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
they're getting 45 from me.
All right. Cool. Well, tell me about it because I haven't done a whole lot of research. I mean, I know who Brad McQuaid is because you have to know who that dude is. I have a light grasp on what Pantheon is. It's just in a Kickstarter, and it's supposed to be an old school style group based sort of EverQuesty MMO, right?
I think you just nailed all we know about it.
That's all I know. I just saw.
Well, all right.
I hate to say it. I saw Brad McQuaid and I said, done, signing up. Just because, I mean, it could fail. It could be horrible. Okay, here's the ones we have. Okay, Dark Age of Camelot, EverQuest, and Ultima Online, right? 3 great games, in my opinion. The 3 games that I, have always liked. I mean, I didn't play Ultima from way back when, but I played the Ultima, Ultima 1, Ultima 2, Ultima 3X, all the way up
Yeah.
growing up on the Commodore 64. So out of those guys, we have...
You're old.
Shh. So out of those guys, we have the guy who did Dark Age of Camelot, Mark Jacobs, right? Am I wrong?
Yep.
He's
Yep.
doing Camelot Unchained,
Mhm.
which is Kickstarter. Then we got Garrett,
Garrett
Lord British.
doing
Doing
Shroud of the
Soda.
Avatar.
Have you guys tried that beta?
No.
I
No.
did. Anyway, and then we have now we have Brad McQuaid. I mean,
It's funny. Yeah, it's all like going back, coming
You know,
around again,
Full circle.
so
Yeah.
out of those 3 games, the only one I didn't kickstart was the Mark Jacobs one, and I think that's the one I probably liked the most. But
I
Yeah, it's
kickstarted
just
it, but you
PvP.
could get in that game cheap. $10 got you a copy of the game when it comes out. No
Yeah.
beta or
cool.
alpha, but it did get you the game.
But I think that's the one I will. I mean, that being said, we know very little. I mean, the game that Richard Garriott's making, I kind of feel like that. I don't know. I feel like he's being Kiss. You know the band Kiss? They market
Yeah.
everything. Like
Put
okay, you
everything
can-
on everything. Kiss has a football team now called the LA Kiss.
Oh my god. So I feel like, and I could be wrong, and but I feel like Richard Garriott is like, okay, well you can buy this for this, but I mean the beauty of Ultima was, no, everyone paid the same, and what they had they got in game, and then there was transactions maybe going on, in the back, but right now you can pay $5,000 and own the coolest spot in the game. I don't like that. I don't think it's, you talk about
Yeah.
pay to win. I mean, I know it doesn't necessarily give you a character that's going to be better than other characters, but you're going to have the market there. I don't know. I don't like.
Well, that you know what though, it does a little bit in that I guess towns and stuff are all attackable, and the better type of house or better town you live in, you're more likely to like have better defenses and things
Right.
like that. So.
But you also get rid of the land grab. You know what I mean? So yeah, all of us peasants who didn't want to spend $100 on a pre-ordered game that might turn up being shit, we're all gonna have like, okay, well, we're gonna live way out there. We're gonna live way out there in Barstow. You know what I mean? Everyone else is gonna be in Vegas unless you dropped a bunch of coin. Anyway,
Yeah.
I look more forward to the Mark Jacobs one at this point. The Brad. Shoot, can't think of it. What is it called?
Pantheon Online?
Pantheon, Brad McQuaid game.
Mhm.
That is so far out. That's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, so the Cable and Chain is pure PvP focused. I mean,
But
I
that's
don't know
not
if
what
they're
he
gonna have
said.
PvE
That's
in the
not
game.
what it is. Pure PvP. They may not have PvE,
yeah.
but it's very much based off of crafting as well and gathering resources. He said. So
Okay.
that being said, is okay. Well, do I care if there's only PvP, or maybe but like if you have to hold down like a spot where the resources are there. I mean, there could be more to the game than if you're just thinking, well, it's just like Quake or Battlegrounds or something. There could be, Mortal Online for the most part has very little PvE, right?
Right.
But it's still, there's still a lot to do in the game. There is some. I mean, I think there'll be some PvE in it, but I don't know. I don't think that you necessarily, if you say it's all PvP, that doesn't mean all you're going to be doing is queuing up for.
Well, I was trying to do the Pantheon is going to be a very PvE focused. It's all about group content and difficult group content. So where the Camel and Chain is going to be all about realm versus realm.
But see, all three of these guys are old school game developers, and they all like they didn't like people say, well, they're the ones who invented the whole Trinity. No, they didn't, because there were multiple positions, if you will. There wasn't just three. Like in EverQuest.
Oh yeah, EverQuest
there
was like
buffers. There was crowd control. There was all these other classes. Some classes weren't even that useful in groups as much as they were. They were the guys you went to get clarity. To get Spirit of the Wolf and stuff like that. I mean, not that they weren't valuable, but there was this whole other. There wasn't just healer, tank, DPS. So I hope that out of these three games that we get back to that, where we get back to, everyone can heal. Well, that sucks. You know what I mean? It's like all these games come out, well, everyone can tank, everyone can heal, everyone can do DPS. It's like, well, no, I don't want to play that game. I want to play the game where you put together a party, where you go out there. And it's like, okay, well, people complain about, like, well, I don't want to stand there waiting for a mob to spawn or trying to put a group together. Well, I do. I want that. I want the old school feeling where I'm not just like queuing up, going kill mobs. I get zapped over to the dungeon and there's a perfect party mixed. That is fine. That's a lot of people like that. We have plenty of games to play that are that way. Like, give us something that's back to the roots, back to an organic building group, having to travel to the dungeon. Remember that? Remember you had to travel, and then sometimes you're outside the dungeon and you put together a party there.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll step off my soapbox.
It's all good, man. I like what you have to say.
I feel that those three games, I'm looking forward to all three of them. Are two of them going to suck? Maybe, probably. Are one of them going to be great? I hope.
Yeah, hopefully at least one of them makes the cut.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're getting some Kickstarter stuff finishing to completion. The Broken Age from the first big Kickstarter that kicked off this big scene of big time developers.
What are you talking about? Talking about like
Broken. What's the developer? It is.
You're talking about Star Citizen, right?
No, Broken Age is the name of the game.
I don't know.
That was the first Double Fine. Double Fine's like 3 million Kickstarter.
Oh, right. It's not an MMO.
They're the guys that first kicked off this
It's
huge
an
thing
adventure
with
game.
like a big name, Tim Schafer, and an old school idea with the adventure game. That just came out.
It's supposed to be really good too.
Yeah, it looks good.
I guess there's.
I'm kind of excited for Wasteland too.
Yeah,
Did you
that too.
Did you buy it? You can
No,
buy the
no,
alpha right now.
I'm waiting. It's $60 on Steam right now.
There's also Divinity Sin. Have you heard of that?
No.
All right.
Yeah, those guys make good games.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I'm waiting for. If we talk about games you want to play like single player, how about Fallout 4? Is that coming out?
Oh, of course.
It has to. Right?
I'll buy Fallout 4 when I beat Fallout 3.
No way. I'll buy Fallout 4 the day it comes out.
Yeah.
That's my new resolution. It's not to beat games. It's to not buy new games when I haven't beat the old game.
Yeah.
Noble cause. That's a noble quest.
No Total War Rome 2 until you beat Total War Shogun 2.
All right, so let's wrap this up, gentlemen. So, hey, Nate, tell me about your blog.
Don't worry about my blog. I'm not writing there hardly anymore.
Let's talk a little bit about what we have like in store for the Sandbox, and the show and our website and all that stuff, because we've got some things in the work, right?
Yeah, so what we're doing now is we are going to try to be very disciplined about putting out podcasts on a regular basis. And we're going to do the video thing. We're going to also try to put out some gameplay videos on our YouTube channel, which is Sandbox Podcast at whatever YouTube channels are. And, the Twitter is Sandbox Podcast, and we also have a new website called sandboxpodcast.com. So we're going to do that. We're also going to try to put together a couple other shows that go on this. We will, as we learn the video software as we're using it, we're going to try to include maybe some other video clips of games. I'm frapsing a lot of what I'm playing to hopefully add a few little cuts here and there. Maybe not to this show, but maybe to all other things that we put together and throw on the sites.
Yeah, and we're still gonna make sure to have the audio only version, because I feel like for me personally that's important. So that don't worry about that. If you just listen through audio only, that's still gonna be there. Right,
and so hopefully we can put together some other shows. I would like to say that I would like to do this video podcast once a week, and I know that's pretty challenging. I'm going to be in Mexico next week, but
yeah, we got everyone's got lives and stuff.
Right.
The other thing, eventually, once we get this format down and all that stuff, I would like to start live streaming the podcast live as we do it with a chat room. We can get the community involved.
Right. And if there's anybody out there who might be really good at video and audio and making logos and like little things underneath our name, underneath our name that says like "Cool It" or whatever, feel free. We're looking for volunteers. If anyone wants to participate with us, we are always an open community. On our website, we have our Mumble channel. All the games that we are talking about, that we are playing, you can play those with us. People jump in all the time. And I know we're celebrities, but we play video games with other people. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're always looking for people to play. Like right now, we're playing AOC. We're playing Star Wars Galaxy's emulator. We're playing. There's always Miguelito and his crew are playing. I think they're playing World of Warcraft, but they're also playing.
And now don't play games with us if you want just one game for 6 months.
Yeah, we're horrible.
Yeah, that's not what we do.
We're like a game for 2 weeks and on the next game, and we have complete gamer ADD.
Yeah.
We also got all new equipment. We're still buying equipment and getting it all to work right. My stuff comes in soon. That's why I've still got the headset on.
So we got the fancy mics with the boom.
Yeah.
See that?
I'm missing my cable, so I couldn't use the mic. But
so we'll get it together. Anyway, shoot me an email, coolit@gmail, or you guys' email. I can do a hand probe.
No, I think I'll just do Twitter @Nate Ryle.
Yeah, you can follow me at Sandbox Quint.
All right, and I'm Sandbox Podcast on Twitter. So anyway, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.
Keep it sandy.